Is it possible that Kroger is going for the most open lawsuits at one time? Well, possibly because they got another one. This one does not involve any collusion or previous friends that we've talked about.
Oh,
This one
good.
involves the singer Jewel. Because what does Jewel have to do with Kroger? Okay, so a couple years back, Jewel and a festival company basically came up with this idea to have like a wellness festival that promoted mental and physical wellness. Well, they created a company. So it was Jewel and a company called Inclusion Co. They created a company called Wellness Your Way Festival LLC. They then looked for a national retailer to partner with and ended up choosing Kroger. The Kroger Wellness Festival debuted in October of 2018 in Cincinnati, and it was as a way to support Kroger's Wellness Your Way platform, which encourages users to adopt a more holistic approach to health. So it was a great partnership with Kroger because they also got to promote their own brand of wellness. They offer like nutrition counseling. And I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about that program. It
No.
is a great fit. Okay. Now, Jewel and the Wellness Your Way Festival LLC are suing Kroger because basically the festival turned a profit in its third year. So the first 2 years, no profit. Third year, they make a profit. And then on April 1st, 2022, yes, that's April Fool's Day, Kroger revealed it was terminating its arrangement with Wellness Your Way Festival.
Okay.
Jewel was not only one of the original founders of the idea, she has a like financial ownership interest in Wellness Your Way. Now,
Right.
what's interesting is that she was also basically, she was performing at these festivals and she was basically like doing it without charging fees and, things like that because she was, a financial interest holder. And basically, the complaint accuses Kroger of breach of contract, breach of fiduciary duty, misrepresentation, and unrest enrichment, among a whole
Yeah.
bunch of other things. They're basically saying you worked with us to get the idea off the ground. As soon as it became profitable, you canceled us.
Right. Yeah.
And so, of course, the plaintiffs are seeking unspecified amount of damages. And they also want an order prohibiting Kroger from using and including Jules' particular intellectual and proprietary property because she was part of the selling point. I am sure that in this area, she was on a poster, she was the headliner,
Yep.
all those kind of things. So now what is kind of interesting is last year, which would have been the fourth year that they were up, they actually had to cancel due to bad weather. So
Huh.
the first year, the second year, and the fourth year, they didn't make any money, but they
Right.
made this decision after the third year where they did turn a profit. So you made actually, we were just talking about this off camera, and you made a great point about the name of the festival.
Yeah, exactly. So they made a choice to put Kroger's name at the beginning of the festival. It's named after Kroger. And I get it. Like, they were a big part of the funding process. So you wanted to give them that credit and kind of, let them lead in a way so that way it is recognizable. But once you do that, you've essentially named it after them and it's not yours
You've given
anymore.
them ownership. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they
it is
own it.
called the Kroger Wellness Festival. It
Right.
is not the Wellness Festival sponsored by Kroger,
Right.
you know?
There's so many ways that could have really lent a larger looking footprint for Kroger without it being named after them. So like in naming it after them, it's even if you were to start your own wellness festival without Kroger, even if Kroger was no longer a sponsor and you continued on with the festival,
You can't
like
do it with that name.
there's no name recognition for you anymore because you named it after your main sponsor.
Exactly. And so I get that Kroger's platform is called Wellness Your Way. So it actually surprises me that Jewel and this other company were able to set up an LLC that called Wellness Your Way Festival
Right.
because it's kind of, using their copyrighted part of their name in it.
Yeah.
And why didn't they just call it the Wellness Your Way Festival? And even then, I mean, I'm just saying, I think that this was maybe some bad partnership decisions here because, like you said, if you're giving it Kroger's name, you're naming it the same as a Kroger program. How could you ever separate from that? So,
And maybe they never intended to separate. Maybe they wanted them to be synonymous, which, isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially if you've got like a positive impact on your community and it's creating good change, good habits, whatever. But you kind of gave them license to take it when you gave the name to them.
and Kroger can continue doing this Kroger Wellness Festival, and nobody's gonna go, hey, wait a minute, are you no longer part with Jewel? But then at the same token, though, Jewel's been such a big part of this that when they do put on their 2025 festival, are people even going to notice that Jewel isn't a part of it? Or they're going to be like, oh, she just couldn't, participate this year. I don't know that anybody associates Jewel with having a financial interest or having an ownership in this.
I don't know that they do, honestly. There's so much that you put into name recognition because that's where your recall comes from. There's products that have had sponsors in the past, and I couldn't tell you who they all were, but I can tell you what the names of the products were.
Well,
So,
we live in outside of Atlanta,
yeah.
and there is an amphitheater that I still call it the name from 20 years ago. Okay. Because I swear every 5 years the name changes.
Yeah,
Okay. But everybody kind of still calls it what it was 20 years ago because that's just what everybody knows it as.
that's what we
So
grew
I
up
kind
with
of
it
feel like
as.
it's
Yeah.
that kind of situation. But at the same token, though, the fact that they are specifically asking for an order to prohibit Kroger from using like Juul's intellectual and proprietary property makes me think that Kroger was still going to basically use Juul to promote this.
Okay, that part's gross.
Because why would you ask for an order if they weren't actually doing it?
Yeah.
You
So
know?
that's probably what happened at the 2023. After they said, bye, we're making money now. We're going to go this way. They were probably still using some of it because it worked and it was connecting with people. And like, but you don't own that. That part's not yours, boo boo. Like the part that you own is the part your name is attached to. And I'm sure there's a lot of the programs that are associated with it, but like anything that's associated with Juul in that aspect, that's where you've done her dirty. So even more
Now,
so,
I
really.
will say that I have asked Google to show me good Kroger news, like news where Kroger's kind of like the shining star, and I just haven't found one. So I'm not purposely trying to bash Kroger. This is just what Google feeds me and what the AP news feeds me. But so let us know down below. Is anybody shocked by this? Because honestly, this kind of sounds like a little this kind of sounds right up Kroger's alley, to be honest. They don't make great decisions. And this just is like another maybe bad decision they made. And if you live in the Cincinnati area, have you been to this festival? Did you even know that Jewel was an original founder and had a financial interest in it? That would be curious to know. So let us know down below.